Tesla 307 despite a raft of bad news. This is Greg for Teslafaninsight. Thanks once again for joining us. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're a repeat visitor, welcome back. We also want to thank our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy the show, like some better ideas on investing and trading, please join us on Patreon. So, I will admit that first 4 minutes of the show today, we're kind of focused on collecting data on what's out there, and the second half of the show, minutes 5 through 10, are really designed to sort of look into the future of what I think happens next. So, as you know, Tesla's peak was 307 this past Friday. I wanted to note to you that it was my prediction that it would bounce over $300 a share. And I have to say, and I encourage you to confirm, that it's pure insanity to some extent, with a whole bunch of reasons, starting with there are 10,000 Cybertrucks that are unsold, with only 6,400 that were sold during the last quarter. There's also obviously the tariff issues. And then I want to say the biggest headwind that should be there for Tesla is the number of analysts that downgraded the stock after earnings were announced, and the stock price is still rising. And let's not forget the fact that we actually had the folks who are at the hedge funds started the party off for Tesla. So the bottom line is that we have a number of valid headwinds for the stock and company. Elon has calmed down, so that seems to have helped things a great deal. But there's a huge disagreement in whether Tesla is more or less valuable right now based on what the future might look like. The final headwind I'd like to bring up today is just the fact that supposedly on June 1st, we're going to start seeing robotaxis moving around Austin that are picking up and dropping people off. So I think that's actually good news that's occurring, because it represents a new revenue source for the company. But I also have to say that this is a little bit strange because we haven't confidently seen it operating in the wild yet, and we don't have sonar, we don't have radar, and we definitely don't have LiDAR. So the question is it going to work? And we're going to find out. And if it does work, a lot of the value increase we've seen would be justified, but a lot higher valuation, something like $400, would definitely be in order. So, mucho things happening. I was somewhat reluctant to do this show today because it really sucks being wrong, but in this case, we were right about the $300 a share target for the stock price when it was in the 230s, 240s, even though we had negative numbers. So relative to looking into the future, I wanted to review, we have a friend of the show named Donovan that's based in Sweden. And so it's very strange right now because part of the reason we targeted the $300 stock price is that it's being discussed that in much of Europe, Tesla's sales are down something between 30 and 75%, which is part of the downgrade. The problem with this, though, is that nobody knows if the drop in this revenue, obviously, and profitability is legitimately driven or it's a temporary phenomenon. That issue is the fact that for the first time that I've seen in Tesla's history, they actually shut down for 3 weeks to retool multiple factories at the same time to address the delivery of the new Model Y. And so I'm kind of stunned because the suggestion I'm getting is that Teslas aren't selling well in many places in Europe because they don't have any inventory left, and the Cybertruck hasn't arrived yet. So at the service centers, there's nothing to sell because they're sold out. So I believe that this is one of the reasons why the stock price is actually doing well. On one hand, you're seeing numbers saying sales have declined, but on the other hand, one of the reasons sales have declined is that they're selling so well in certain places that there's nothing to sell. So the final piece of my nobody's for sure what's going to happen, but I think it's going up, is that I went in to a place called Roosevelt Field, which is in Long Island, New York. And while there, I saw a whole bunch of mostly Model Ys, but a few Model 3s as well. And it was really weird. I'm including images of what I saw, which is approximately 200, 250 Model Ys of different colors, all waiting. The vehicles, as has been the case in other places that Tesla stores vehicles, were stored at a shopping center, not necessarily right next to the sales facilities. And obviously it's cheaper to store there than to rent a warehouse and stick the cars in there. So in general, I'd have to say that we're seeing a whole bunch of conflicting data points on what's going on with Tesla right now. But it seems like the new Model Y is selling pretty well despite the Elon challenges. So I would have to say I'm optimistically with a thumbs up on Tesla right now. And we look forward to seeing some great numbers. That's the end of our general show. Just wanted to encourage you, don't forget your 25 leg lifts a day. Also want to encourage you to increase water intake. Have a great day and bye for now.